Today I'm going to be sharing with you 4 or 5 different tips that you can use when dealing with challenges that you are facing in the most positive way possible. Now, there are different types of challenges in our lives, and it's going to take time for us to develop these tools and these methods and this mindset in order for us to deal with these different situations that come our way. And I'm here to guide you whenever you need help or guidance or just to pick me up. I'm here. You can always comment on this video below, or you can reach out in any way possible. Now, a challenge or an obstacle, so to speak, that we're faced with, whether it's a mental challenge or emotional or painful or things that are unexpected, they all come in different packages. All challenges come into our lives in different ways. And what's important for us, number one, is to understand is that these challenges are there to help us. And it's hard to see it that way, especially the different types of challenges that we're dealing with. And we want to understand that the world works, the universe, God works in a way that it's pushing us in a direction for us to reveal our full potential of who we're meant to be in this world and what we're actually able to achieve and receive. Okay? So there are things in our lives that make us happy. There are things in our lives that make us sad. There are things in our lives that we really, 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 really want, and we're just not getting them. All right? So when we're not getting something that we want, it could be a form of challenge. It could be a form of disappointment. It could be an upset, right? We can get upset about it. So there's different types of challenges. There's the unexpected ones. There's the ones that are not in our control at all, right? And there's the emotional challenges that we deal with. And then there's physical challenges that we deal with. In my case specifically, I deal with challenges and adversity almost every single day of my life. I can wake up in the morning and there's something that's different that may be happening that I have to deal with, but I have to still get on with my life. And the reason why I'm able to overcome my personal challenges every day, dealing with a chronic illness that I deal with, is to live a life of purpose and knowing that every single day that we are here in this world, we're here for a purpose. There's a reason why we wake up in the morning. There's a reason why we keep going. There's a reason why, we're still here in this world to deal with the different things in our lives. But the question is how we're going to deal with those things. And purpose for me is what I had to find out was why I do what I do and why I'm doing what I do, right? And also to, busy myself with different areas of my life that are going to bring service to others, right? So, you could be volunteering, you could be helping out in the kitchen, whatever it is that's going to bring joy to another person is something that's going to help you get through what you're getting through because you're doing something good. And when you're doing something good for somebody, it actually activates the molecular, the serotonin within our bodies. Making somebody else feel good makes you feel good. And when somebody else is watching you feel good, watching that happen, they also feel good. And when you feel good, you activate healing. And it's important to feel good. When you feel good with a situation or challenge, it's easier for you to deal with. Now, here are the different steps that I'm going to go through that are going to help you when you are facing something to help to switch that mindset to a positive one so you're not actually devastated when these things happen out of the blue and you don't know how to deal with them. Okay. So the first thing is to understand is that there is always a bigger picture, and there is always a bigger picture of, what is happening in our life that is happening at that moment that will make us really upset. And we can get really upset that we don't want this to happen. And why is this happening to me and all that stuff? We have to understand that sometimes in life, we are given what we need and not what we want at that moment. Sometimes we want something, but it's not what we need right now. And the only person that knows that what we need is God, right? The universe. And there's a reason why you're not getting what you want at this very second, because maybe you need to prepare yourself to actually receive it and benefit and be happy about it soon, right? So for example, if somebody really, really, really wants a new car or an elephant or, whatever it is, they're thinking about they want that thing right now, but they are not ready to actually take care of it. As a simple example. In my situation, for example, I can share with you that I thought moving to Toronto from Los Angeles was the worst possible thing ever. The worst possible thing ever. And it wasn't. What happened was that I realized that there was a bigger picture. If I didn't move back to Toronto, I wouldn't have met the people that I met, first of all. I wouldn't have met the people that I love, first of all, which I still love all over the world. However, I wouldn't have met somebody specifically that helped me to get out of my wheelchair and get me on crutches and be able to stand up tall and become who I am today because of it. So at that moment, I thought it was the worst thing ever. I was crying. I didn't want to go. I didn't want to move back. But when I look back, it's the most beautiful thing ever. So the first thing is that I want you to understand that there is always a bigger picture. There's always something else that's happening that we're not seeing at this very moment. And I want you to just take a breath the next time you're dealing with something and realize, okay, so maybe this is happening for a bigger reason that I'm not seeing right now. But one day I'm going to look back and realize, wow, I'm so glad that this happened. And when you're in that situation at the moment, you can try to visualize yourself realizing that you have to deal with this right now, but imagine that you're actually looking back at this moment, realizing that you got to deal with that and you overcame it and you got through it and you grew from it. Okay, that's the first thing. To understand that things are always happening for you, and not to you. Like it's not personal, right? You're not getting, that's another thing that Tony Robbins talks about a lot. So the reason why I'm talking about that is that there are different challenges that are going to be more devastating than others, for sure, without question. There are going to be situations in your life that just happen because, this c'est la vie, this is life, right? And some of these situations are going to be totally out of our control, and it's up to us to be able to manage them internally, okay? So, for example, there are people in this world that have gone through the most devastated, traumatic experience of their lives, but they're able to somehow get through it in a most positive, productive, proactive way possible. Even in the Holocaust, for example, Viktor Frankl was able to find the joy within it and then teach people afterwards. Like, I'm not saying it's a joyful event, but his teachings were able to see things in a different manner, even though you're dealing with such traumatic situations. And that's an extreme example. The second thing is we have to have acceptance to what is happening right now instead of what is happening, what may happen or may not happen. And accepting the present moment is one of the biggest things that you can ever do, is accepting this is what's happening right now. How can I proactively deal with this situation? And when we realize that, it gives us the opportunity to stop and just to breathe and realize, like, I need to have a little bit more faith right now, or maybe I need to just breathe or ask for help or find ways to deal with this in the most positive way possible. And the next thing, the fourth thing is breathing. The more that we are calm, the more we're able to deal with situations in the most proactive way that come our way, right? And every situation that we're dealing with, whether it's hard or difficult or it's easy, it's helping us to grow to become who it is that we're meant to be in this world. And that is something that we have to really, really pay attention to. So breathing, what you can do is, one of the ways that I breathe to get calm in the moment is take one breath through your nose and another breath through your nose right after that. So you're basically doing this. You're breathing in twice, and then you're holding it, and then you let it out. And when you do that 3 times, it calms the nervous system. It calms the vagus nerve. It calms your whole system. And then you're able to just ground yourself for a moment and really deal with that situation in the most proactive way possible. And the last thing is, it's very important to understand that the more we resist, the situation will persist. The more we resist the pain that we're dealing with, the more it's going to persist because we're fighting it. And we can't fight things and expect them to go away. And it's just, especially in our own lives, whether it's an emotion or it's a painful situation, or you're dealing with something at school, whatever it is, it's important that you don't fight the pain. You don't fight the challenge. You want to be able to feel what is real in order to heal. And what that means is that you want to be able to accept the situation that you're dealing with and realize and find ways that you can deal with it in a more proactive way, to calm yourself in that moment and to be able to rise back up, even though it may be painful and hard, knowing that you're going to get through this. And there's a great saying that says, this too shall pass. And it usually always does. You know, the emotional pain, it does pass. The physical pain, it does pass. Some people have pain all the time. Some people are dealing with really ingrained emotional challenges. And, you know, there are ways to alleviate that pain. And there's ways, and there's so many more tools that we can use. The bottom line is that we want to always be able to pay attention to what we're dealing with and realizing that this challenge that we're facing right now is going to make us stronger. We're going to be able to look back at this situation. There's going to be a bigger picture. And we just know that us pushing through this is going to give us not only the wisdom, not only the strength, but to teach other people to do the same. So I hope this was helpful in any such way. And please feel free to comment below or share if you have any questions or comments, and I'd be happy to guide you further.